I don't get it. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 280 of the Shower Podcast, the podcast where I'm in my shower and you do you. I'm your host, Chip, and second day in a row, back in the usual format of the Shower Podcast. I have to say that I've enjoyed a lot the previous episode, and today's episode also is really improvised, based on something that I experienced yesterday. So I would really like to share it with you in the most pure way possible. So yeah, myself in the shower and my thoughts for you. Before we start, as usual, if you end up liking this episode, remember that liking and subscribing really mean a lot for me. They're just one click, but they really, really make the difference. Thank you very much for considering it. So, where should we start? This is something that I already had in the back of my mind, but it kind of erupted last night. Me and my girlfriend were deciding what to watch next, and a few people that I follow, that I'm friends with, on their stories recommended the new series that it's on Netflix called Monster. It's based on the previous one that was made about Jeffrey Dahmer. And this one is describing, but even though describing is not really the word here, and I will get to that in a second, but it's, let's say, has as its protagonist this serial killer that was living in the 1950s, more or less. The name now I cannot, it's not coming to my mind, but you can find it super easily, and it's beyond the point of what I want to explain to you. So before going on, if you want to see further, there's going to be no spoilers, but overall just my take on the whole opera, even though I've seen just a few episodes. So yeah, it's long from being completed. It could change my mind, but for now I have this with me and I like to share it. But again, it's not strictly based on that, let's say, single series. It's more of a general topic. So what do I want to talk about? It's the fact that there is a scene specifically that portrays the debut of the original movie Psycho by Hitchcock, the director. And it's portrayed how people were both challenged by what they were seeing, given that it was one of the first gore movies, horror movies of the time. And you can see this contrast between people wanting to look away and at the same time being hooked to the screen. There's various reactions. There's people going out of the theater and throwing up, women going into labor. Of course, it's an exaggerated scene, but it gave me the impression that indeed the difficult thing was not necessarily what they were seeing. It was the fact that they were not used to it. And what I would like to discuss today with you is the fact that nowadays we really got used to understanding what we see. If we experience something, if something is presented to us, usually it is done in a way that is super easy and digestible. Every concept, every idea needs to be explained to us in the simplest way possible, because otherwise we either skip it or we get frustrated by the fact that we don't understand it. And one of the places in which this happens a lot is social media. Now, I don't want to protect my own format, but let's say that one of the main reasons behind the fact that I had to do this daily, so I had to find a format that worked, let's say in a shorter time frame. But one of the thoughts that I had was also the fact that I realized that also for the way that I consume content and for what I see online, going above 8-10 minutes is really asking for a lot. Nonetheless, the most successful, one of the most successful episodes of the Shower Podcast are indeed the weekend drops, because indeed they are 3-4 minutes with a simple idea and you get immediately, you know, the concept out of it. It's not complicated. But I would like to challenge you today and actually tell you that you should seek complicated things, and specifically those things that you cannot really understand. You see something and you are troubled, you are challenged, you do not have an anchor to which you can say, yeah, I can recognize this, I can understand it. And this happens a lot in art, let's say, generally speaking. But I presented to you the example of cinema, and specifically also the series that I'm watching, Monster, has a lot of very raw scenes, let's say, a lot of very vivid images that are not easy to look at. And when you are presented with those images, with those instances, one of the first things that come to your mind are, couldn't you have done it in a more simple way? Was it really necessary to be so clear, so transparent in the things that you wanted to present? And by thinking about it, so beyond a single moment, you actually end up understanding that yes, it is necessary, because this is the only way in which you can actually get a minimal chance of being transported in what it actually meant back then to be presented with those facts, and knowing that a person could have done such a thing. And expanding beyond the, let's say, the world of cinema, a very good topic that I've seen online. If you followed one of the previous episodes of the Shower podcast, there was this game Silksong that came out. And even though you might not be following the world of games, one of the most common critiques that were moved to this game was the fact that it was very, very difficult. And that people were uprising against the game because they expected like an easy mode, or something that would have gave them the chance to experience the game in their own way. And to that argument, my counter argument, and in general the ones that I've seen online, is the fact that no, there should not be such a thing, because that was the vision of the game director. That was the vision of the person that created that thing. And by eliminating those harder moments, by making the game easier and more accessible, but in the wrong way, you are simply destroying and altering the image and the experience that you are living. And it would be as asking your partner or the people that are in your life to be more simple because they create too many problems for you. And I'm sure that even though for the first second you think of it, you think, that might be nice because you would have less problems. At the end of the day, you might realize that the complexity that characterizes these people is exactly the reason why you might be so attached to them and why you get the chance to have so much out of them. And overall, my whole point and what I would like to make you think about today is the fact that when you are presented with something that you cannot understand, and the moment in which you are required to use first your critical thinking, but also challenging your own beliefs, those are the things that are worth pursuing. Because those are the only chances that we got to actually change our mindset, to be able to think of something that goes out of our ordinary. Because otherwise you'll be presented and you will be only living with your own experiences, seeing the same things over and over again. And even though, yes, it might feel nice, down the road, trust me, it's gonna be an absolute disaster. So again, I really, really encourage you to not look badly at those things, to not feel challenged by these experiences, but to actually take them as a learning opportunity and really treasure them, because they are very, very unique and rare nowadays. And when you end up seeing something like that, you should be thrilled and you should be very happy to have the chance to get to that. And that's how I felt last night. And yeah, that's the reason why we are here. Having said that, that was all for today. Thank you very much for listening. Very personal. And again, I really hope that you will get curious at least. And the next time that you will get to experience something like this, you'll be like, let me try to see it with a different kind of eyes. Again, thank you very much for making it so far. And if you made it, feel free to interact with this content in any way, shape, or form. Comment, share it, like it, whatever you feel like doing. And until the next one, as usual, stay consistent, stay resilient. This was the Shower Podcast, and I'll see you tomorrow.